Ever feel like you're constantly waiting for motivation to show up so you can finally get moving? Here's the brutal truth. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It's emotional, fickle, inconsistent. But you know what is reliable? Momentum. Motivation is like a matchstick. It flares up quickly but burns out just as fast. Momentum, on the other hand, is like a flywheel. It may be slow to start, but once it's spinning, it's nearly impossible to stop. Let's break this down. When you rely on motivation, you're depending on how you feel. When you build momentum, you're depending on what you do. Here is how momentum works in your brain. Every time you complete a task, no matter how small, your brain gets a dopamine hit. This isn't just pleasure, it's reinforcement. It's your brain saying, "Hey, that felt good. Let's do it again." Now stack that a few times in a row. Do one task, then another, then another. Pretty soon, you built a pattern. That pattern becomes a habit. That habit becomes a psychological snowball. That's momentum. Think about Newton's first law. An object in motion stays in motion. This applies to your behavior too. Ever notice how when you start your day with just one when making your bed, finishing a workout, sending a tough email, you move faster and with more clarity? That's not accidental. That's the momentum effect. Here is the best part. You don't need to feel inspired to get started. You just need to start small. In fact, the smaller the better. Don't aim to write a whole book. Aim to write one sentence. Don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to lacing up your shoes and stepping outside. Tiny wins lead to massive shifts. Because once you start, you've shifted your identity. You're no longer someone waiting to be motivated. You're someone already in motion. Here is a hard truth. The most disciplined people in the world don't rely on motivation. They've learned how to engineer momentum. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" They ask, "What's the next step?" You can do the same. Set up your day around triggers. When I finish coffee, I open my planner. After brushing my teeth, I write for 5 minutes. When I put on my shoes, I take a walk around the block. This isn't magic, it's momentum math. Trigger, small action, dopamine hit, repeat. Here is your challenge. Stop chasing the perfect move. Start chasing small moves. Build your own flywheel. And once it's spinning, you won't need motivation ever again. Drop a comment below. What small action will you take today to get your momentum rolling? And if this gave you clarity, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it.